I need to get rich and famous so that I can.
Same.
Yeah.
So welcome back to The Blunt
and the Based.
We were just so super stoked about this episode because most of the time, the last few episodes, we've just been talking about Democrats and just leaving poor Trump in the dust. But, we had to go ahead and put the point out there as to why we wouldn't be voting for Democrats and why we've decided we would vote for Trump. I mean,
didn't vote for Kamala?
I mean, no, please. Come on now. 32. 32. 32. 32. Isn't that what she said? Because the prompt stopped. And then she just kept on repeating it.
She just go, did you see? I feel like they get worse and worse. Okay. Did you see her interview yesterday?
No, because I didn't want to throw up in my mouth.
Okay, I'm not saying this to be ugly. I'm not saying this to be accusatory. My ex-husband is a recovering alcoholic. And I've seen the effects up front more than I would ever want to see, even mixing it with, prescription drugs. I cannot listen to her or look at her and not think there is some type of substance in her body with like the slurred speech and how slow she talks. Have you seen any of that footage? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, I think that a lot of the time, I think she just doesn't know what to say. And perhaps it is slowed down by, alcohol induced. Because then you saw that one interview where she's like, really.
Where she's really jittery and she's constantly doing that makes me think a whole nother thing.
I think that we should apologize to Hunter. Because that cocaine found in the White House,
it wasn't.
Maybe
you're right.
Yeah, maybe it was her. So maybe it was her. We need to publicly, just apologize to Hunter for, just putting him on Front Street and making him seem like the one that was using coke in the White House.
The only one with a drug problem. But I mean, it's not. I don't think it's a far stretch to think that there is some type of substance in her during some of these interviews.
Okay. Just putting this out there, right? Is that in case anybody didn't know, last Monday, not yesterday, but last Monday, was 5 years of sobriety for me.
Yeah.
So it's funny to me. Thank you. Is that when I was out there and I was drinking, I was drugging, is I would be making really bad decisions with my life. And so I would have to drink and I would have to drug in order to find some acceptance and be able to continue in that bad behavior. So, I mean, is it that far-fetched that, perhaps the things that she has done, the guilt that is on her plate, that maybe she needs substance in order for her to be able to proceed.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it would explain the lack of coherent thoughts, honestly, because again, I have so many liberals and a lot of it I think is just like bot accounts in my comment section talking about how articulate she is, what a strong leader she is, how they're supporting her policies, which I have yet to hear any policy because she's so inconsistent and she literally crawfishes on everything every other day if you just listen to her. And I, for the life of me, I can't think if you have, because I have painfully watched a lot of her interviews and a lot of the town halls and the Anderson Cooper interview. Oh man. but I'm watching them and I'm thinking to myself, what are you seeing? Because I'm watching it. Like, I'm watching the same thing you're watching. So, I mean, we're getting punked, right? We're getting punked.
It has to be that we're getting punked because I mean, at the end of the day, like I was just like I I had, I have people on my Facebook that shouldn't be on my Facebook. Like just I can't believe that,
No
their level of
secret
stupidity
now.
is there. Like, I mean, side note, I just want to tell you guys this, okay? So there's this lady on my Facebook, and I didn't add her. She added me. I know her from a certain organization, not gag. And she, I didn't really know her political beliefs, nor did I care. You know what I mean? Because I thought that she had a good message. So, whatever. And she proceeds to like post the most ridiculous things. And yesterday she posted that if you think your child is going to get gender affirming care uh, at school, and you don't think that they're going to be shot by a gun, then you're not in reality.
What?
So I proceeded to let her know that I believe that this is the stupidest post I've ever seen in my whole entire life. And that perhaps, right? Perhaps she shouldn't be speaking on things that she has no earthly idea about. And that I think that she should tell that to a detransitioner with her whole chest to their face. But anyways,
But the stats show how many children actually get impacted by gun violence at schools versus how many kids are being transitioned behind their parents' backs, whether it's socially or actually being, allowed to go to like therapy and all that stuff. The stats are there. I would also like to put a little caveat in there. Does she want to talk about the mental state of the last just of the shooters, the school shooters over this past year?
no,
Because
she
I believe
doesn't.
the majority of them identified as some other thing than, just a regular boy girl.
No, no. This person would not and does not. But I went ahead and allowed her to just go ahead and block me because I mean it's not. I mean I wasn't going to block her because I like to have those hard conversations
Yeah.
because of the fact that if I'm seeing this on social media and I'm responding, other people that are friends with her or friends of mine are able to see that post and see real conversation like, hey, you know what I mean? Like that isn't something that is true, nor is it helpful whatsoever. Because at the end of the day, I mean, is if you were to ban all guns, you're only banning guns for law-abiding citizens.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, it's neither here nor there. That's not the conversation of the podcast today. But I just thought it was funny. It's just like how how ignorant people are
Yeah.
and the lack of like willingness to be open-minded. They like, you're not open-minded. Well, I actually have done the research. So, I mean, I feel like that's a little bit open minded. Like, if you brought me some concrete evidence of, something like I would have to reconsider. I told my therapist the other day, I said, you know what, if I'm wrong, I want to go ahead and admit it because I want to be humble enough to know that at any given time, I'm willing to look at a new perspective and, I'm not stuck in this, one way of thinking. That's the whole point of being a critical thinker. Just saying. So, long story short, I thought it was really cool that Trump has all of his policies on his website. I even sent it to Amy and I was just like, wow, we really should just like go through a few of them and talk about them because there's a lot of really cool ideas that he has on there. I thought a fun one, just putting it out there, is like one long year of a party for America. Did you see that one?
No.
Yes, 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 yes. It's like a fair for America. I thought that was pretty cool.
I love that.
I know that a fair would go on simultaneously in all 50 states.
That is really cool. No, I didn't see that one.
Like, I think that sometimes we need to talk about those things. Like, it's always such serious things, but I'm like, why shouldn't we be doing? Of course, everybody has their county fairs, their state fairs, and everything. But just like in general, simultaneously, every single state, celebrating where America started to where America is today. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? To celebrate, what America can be in the future as well.
that's a great idea. I did not see that one.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm
go
If you
ahead.
wanna pull up the website, I'm sure that
That's what I'm
we
doing
could.
right now. I'm looking to see. I was actually Googling to see Kamala Harris's agenda too.
Well, you
Just
wouldn't find one.
that well, I don't see. I don't see
Abortion good, common
abortion,
sense bad.
abortion, and what? What's her other thing?
Um, like transitioning,
Yeah. So like I feel like abortion is really the hot topic that they all keep talking about.
it's because of Roe versus Wade.
Yeah.
However, you know what I
Which
mean?
is
Like,
stupidest thing ever. I'm like, people, the federal government should not even have the power to have it. It's not a constitutional right to murder babies in the womb. Like the state should have that. And where you live should be reflective of really your values and your ideas. And we've seen a big uptick in people choosing to reside in states that align with their values. And that makes sense. So if you want to live in a blue state, go to California, go to Washington, go to like really heavily populated blue states. And that makes sense because then your tax dollars go towards this. Like, I mean, I don't see why anyone on any level would want big government in anything and everything that we do. Like it just doesn't make sense. It should be our state was designed, I mean, our country was designed for us to be able to reflectively or directly impact, the policies that we live under. And on a state level, that's how you directly impact it. You elect candidates that align with your values that will make sure that the policies in your state reflect how you want to live. Okay, perfect. Like why are we even arguing about this? Abortion is not banned in all 50 states.
but I think
Emergency,
it's limited. It's limited. It's not even banned.
it's not banned in all 50 states. It's not banned in there are some states that have like certain restrictions.
Florida is 6 weeks.
I will say there are no states where medical intervention is not allowed in the event that the mother is in danger.
Right.
None whatsoever. There are none whatsoever. I would also like to say that because everyone wants to argue that you can't find it.
Because that's not an abortion anyway. Like it's named some like there's another medical term. I'm not really familiar with that term. However, it isn't even that has nothing to do with abortion. That's a medical condition.
No, I'm just saying, like, if there are situations where there needs to be medical intervention to terminate the pregnancy because of the safety of the mother, like ectopic pregnancy.
Yes,
emerging.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no state that is illegal. And people sit there and try to argue with me. I'm like, show me the proof. Show me the proof.
They don't have it. They're like,
because it ain't there. Because it ain't there.
They believe that if they say it, it's true.
Yeah, whatever. All right. So yeah, I mean, we want to talk about Agenda 47 because it's full of amazing things, and all of these things are really just to benefit the United States, which is where our policies should benefit. Like, so what? Let's talk. I know that you have your top ones you think are super important or fun.
I do. I do. Are you gonna pull it up,
I have
or
it
are we gonna?
up. Yeah.
Is that? Let's see. Well, first and foremost, you know that my top one is always going to be the protection of children, and not only just in gender affirming care, because he has one agenda on that, but also the indoctrination within the school and the universities.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, his promotion and like supporting parental rights, along with um, making it $10,000 tax free for homeschooling, for
Yes.
like computer, paper, whatever supplies you need, $10,000 a year. And I'm like all of that should be exciting.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because he's opening more doors to like school choice, which is really important. And I think again, we've seen a rise of a lot of people taking more of an initiative to homeschool their kids or put their kids in alternative schooling because I just think because of the quality of our public school system has deteriorated tremendously because it
100%,
has
because the
they
government is too heavily involved in it.
yes, anything the government touches turns to shit. That is a proven fact. We can go through all of the organizations that the government has taken over and how crappy they are. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the public school system overall, maybe not in all areas, maybe you're in a pocket of a more conservative area and you're blessed with quality teachers, but overall we see this time and time again, especially me and you. The curriculum itself of the public school system, and also the shift in like focus on more of equity versus actually making sure that children are prepared, because the school system should be preparing children for adulthood, for college, for whatever, if they don't go to college, they're trade school, whatever it is that they're going to. And we're seeing more of a shift of participation type trophy environments, and that is ultimately setting up children to fail.
So I was watching this video of this. He's probably like 9, 10 years old. And somebody's asking him, like, well, what are some of the projects that you're involved in for homeschooling? And he's like, well, what we did was we rented a property, we created an Airbnb, we, and they made a business plan right around this. And this is what they're doing in homeschool. They're actually teaching
Wow.
these kids like how to, be business oriented, how
Yeah.
to make them think outside the box and do something fun. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm 10 years old and I'm creating a business and
Right.
giving myself a way to think outside of the box that might not necessarily, not everybody wants to be a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher. Like, some people just want to live in their creativity. And what does that look like? How can we build off of that? And I thought that that was just like an amazing thing, because I mean, I was in school 20 years ago, I mean, shoot, absolutely. We still had, in my junior high, I still had home economics. I still like,
I did too.
I
Yeah.
had
We
the
still
work
had it.
program where we learned how to do our taxes and do
Yes.
these different things. Whereas today, like these people don't get to get those little trades, and so because why? Because they have organizations that want to make money, and as long as you're too stupid to do it, then you're gonna pay them to do it.
Right.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, they want you dumb, but also they want to take your money because you're dumb.
Yeah.
So I thought that was super cool, and I just thought I'd put that out there. I
Yeah.
wish I had the video so you could see it, because I was like really impressed.
Yeah. No, that's a part of like the shift and the deterioration of the public school system. I have a puppy here. Oh,
Aww.
my goodness, look at this cute puppy. Okay, go play, puppy. But yeah, like we don't teach children life skills anymore. We also like, I remember like 20 years ago. Geez, is it 20 years ago? Yeah, I'm old. Like everything was like a complete focus on you have to go to college or you're going to amount to nothing. And I am so happy to see that shift back to a different perspective because that's just not reality. And it's also not sustainable for our just our country as a whole. Like, why are we telling kids that you have to go, you're forced to go to college or you're not going to amount to anything? There are so many good quality careers that you can get that are not going to require college. Not every child needs to go to college. Not every child is going to thrive in a college environment. So why are we discouraging kids and basically like, diminishing the value of like trade schools? Like, how are we going to survive if we don't have electricians, mechanics, plumbers,
truck drivers,
like all of these people? We need all of these people too. Like these people all contribute positive things to society. And I think there was like a stigma on it for years, like that you're like less than if you do that. No, you're not. But the Marxist mentality that has like infiltrated the public school system cannot make money off of people like that. They can't make money off of people unless they get them into like a college setting and continue to saturate them with these insane ideas and continue to like basically make them little worker bees to continue to influence and I guess not influence, because it's not even influencing people. It's basically brainwashing people into thinking that,
there's only one way to do it.
System, yes, the system is the right way. And it's just insane. Like,
I'd like to put it out there that I was a truck driver for 8 years.
yes.
And then I also believe that there is really something special about experience. So, like, I was, I'm very ADHD. I didn't learn how to read until like I had a second grade reading level in seventh grade. So I just had a very hard time with education as a whole. However, I really think that there's something special about experiencing life. I mean, if you want to go to college, I say experience life first because of the fact that you get to learn so many different percent uh like different views. Like I took a bus from Georgia all the way to California, and I had a backpack. That was it.
Yeah.
18 years old. Like I
Perspective
just,
on life.
yeah, I just winged it. And you know what? I had the most amazing 20s. I mean, even though I had a lot of alcoholism and drug addiction and mental illness, but there was also good times. Like I got to be of service for a whole entire year in New Orleans, rebuilding the city of New Orleans after Katrina. Like,
Yeah.
you get to learn so much just in doing those things. And then also you're building different skills because now you're having to be quick on your feet. You're having to think of new ideas to get you from point A to point B. And I think that education is amazing. However, I think that the problem with society today is they have lack of experience in life, and
Yes.
they think that they're entitled to think one way, and that if everybody doesn't think that one way, then they're a bigot, then they're uneducated, and they're beneath them. And that's just not the case.
Right.
When we experience life, we have the opportunity to learn different perspectives, and we get to learn how to empathize with other people because we actually have the experience to see that not everybody lives the same way.
Yes, there is so much to be said about experience. And just to reinforce, I had a very lucrative career for 12 years that did not require, I basically became like the managing director, and my sole focus was on like recruiting and training for like the latter part of my career, and it did not require college education, and that was in the financial world. So just keep that in mind. There is plenty of opportunity out there for people if they choose to not go the college route, and that's okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now,
I
we'll
did. I
do.
found the celebration thing. It says the celebration of 250 years of American independence at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. So they have it says 3 years from now, the United States will celebrate the biggest and most important milestone in our country's history, 250 years of American independence. That's why as a nation, we should be preparing for the most spectacular birthday party. How cool would that be? That would be
So
amazing.
cool.
Yes.
So cool. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I don't know.
We'll have to put that on our
Calendar.
yes.
I love that.
Absolutely. That would be July 4th, 2026. Oh, he would have it. So it'd be Salute to America 250, where the festivities would be coordinated with state and local government to ensure an entire year of festivities across the country from Memorial Day 2025 to July 5th, 2026.
Yep.
So he would work with all 50 governors to create a great American state fair, a unique one-year exhibition featuring pavilions from all 50 states.
How fun is that? I love that.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have such serious issues that are going around in this country right now, and it's like mentally draining. It's so amazing that, he could take the time and kind of combat some of the negativity with something just truly amazing, that we are celebrating something that no other country has ever done, not to the extent in which we have, and I just think that that's such a beautiful thing. So many times people are focused on the negativity constantly, and that includes myself. I'm not beneath it.
Well,
Sometimes I'm a little bit negative.
Our brains naturally navigate or gravitate towards negativity. It's more of like a survival thing. That's just so we have to train our brains to focus on the positive.
100%. 100%.
No, that's really cool. Just to preface this, you guys can find Agenda 47 on DonaldJTrump.com. It's all there. It is all there. And he has convenient little videos for each thing on the agenda, the full complete agenda. So it explains the things that he's talking about.
Now, another one that I thought was really important, and I know you know about this, Amy, that one of my very best friends, her son died of a fentanyl overdose.
Yes.
And that has become such an epidemic here. And I love the fact that he's willing to just really focus on that issue. Obviously, that has a lot to do with the border and the lack of.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Right. The lack of protection of our borders, and the importance of us recognizing that this is an issue that's actually killing Americans. And I watched the devastation and the down spiral of my friend losing a child. I don't know what it's like. I don't have a child, but I can only imagine that it's a very difficult thing to go through. And the fact that people kind of go, "Oh, you're a racist because you want a protected border." No, like I'm thinking about my best friend and what she went through. Or there was a 12-year-old girl that was killed 2 miles from her home at a skate park by 2 illegal immigrants that were in this country illegally. And had that border perhaps been protected, that maybe she would still be alive today. So one of his other policies is that if you harm and kill another American citizen, that he would make it a death penalty offense. And I thought, you know what? That's amazing, because I know a lot of
For the traffic
legal
too.
with that.
That's the other thing that he's adding as well.
But here's the thing, people are like, oh, he just doesn't, care about immigrants. No, like, I have plenty. I literally work with 3 legal immigrants, 2 from Cuba, 1 from Panama, and they all did it the legal way.
My
And they
mom's a
feel
legal immigrant.
right there, Italy. I mean, like, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter where you come from. You know what I mean? All it matters is that
She
you're
also
doing it
voted for-
properly.
FYI.
She voted for Trump?
She did. She had to fill out. I helped her fill out. I was her witness because she is in Italy right now, and she had to do the absentee voting. So you got to have like a witness sign off for you, on you, whatever. And I saw her put her ballot in the mail. So yeah, but and I will tell you a quick side note with her. She got her citizenship so she could vote. She didn't get it. She was a permanent resident forever. Like, she had her permanent residency, but she decided to get it later on in life, and she has now voted for Trump 3 times.
Me too.
So, fentanyl. 6 out of every 10 pills contains fentanyl that leads to a potentially lethal overdose. Over 150 people die every single day in the United States, fentanyl-related deaths. That means 1 overdose death every 5 minutes in the United States. And the border issue, yes, we are not open borders. A country without borders is not a country at all. The open border issue has created a humanitarian issue with the drugs pouring in, the human trafficking that is happening. There are 320,000 children that are missing. By the way, Trump had rapid test DNA rapid test at the border to make sure that minors were related to the adults that they were coming into the border with. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden got rid of that. There are 320,000, an estimated 320,000 children in the United States that are unaccompanied minors, and we don't know where they are. This has led to sex trafficking. These kids are used by the cartels for drug trafficking. They're sold by their parents, unfortunately, for their parents to get across the border. And then the kids are used for labor or whatever it is else that, the very most evil people of the world are using them for. So there are a lot of other issues that are going on amongst the illegal immigrants in the United States. They're not properly vetted. That's why we've got a lot of crime. It's leading to a lot of other issues people don't even realize. Car insurance has skyrocketed. Why? Because we have a lot of illegals that are driving. They're uninsured motorists. You can't tax an illegal in this country. So where is this cost whenever it starts rising for the insurance companies? And we haven't even gotten to the medical aspect of it that's costing us so much money. The insurance companies are now dispersing that cost to us, people that actually pay their car insurance. And that's another thing that people don't realize. They're just like, oh yeah, let all these people in. It's not impacting you. No, it's actually impacting you on so many different levels in so many different ways. And it is not sustainable. It is not sustainable. Medicare.
Nor is it free. I mean,
it's not free.
It's not free, and it's not fair.
It's not free. It's not fair. It's not sustainable. This is why we have an immigration policy. Follow the immigration policy if you want to come into the United States. It's that simple. But I want to add this too. Medicare, there's a study that just came out. I was reading it a couple days ago. If Kamala Harris wins and she gives amnesty to the 15 million illegals that are estimated, and actually it's probably more like 30 million, but the study was based on 15 million. That is going to put a $1.8 trillion cost on Medicare. Medicare will not survive this. It's already not going to survive, but when you tack that on, and where is that money coming from, people? Where is that money coming from?
Our pockets.
Tax dollars, folks. So yeah, so many issues wrong with that in general. It's just not sustainable. That's why most countries, all countries, have an immigration policy. Not most, all.
I mean, it just makes sense.
Well, I mean, it's part of being a fucking country.
Like, you don't get to, normal people just don't let people in their home without vetting them. Like,
without
I
vetting
mean,
them, like you're gonna let some random person come in. I mean, and you can go to TikTok and see the videos. Like, why are all these people coming from China, like Syria? What are they doing here? Like, it's just really weird why we're getting all this influx of people. Oh, and I learned yesterday, I saw a video. Did you know there's an app that the government made, an app for people overseas for
Yes.
them to say, hey, I want to come to this country, so they can get in by air too.
Yes.
They can get in, they can get a plane. The government made an app for this crap. You got to sit and think, why is the government so interested in flooding our country with illegals?
Oh, because it's control, and they'd be able to manipulate them to keep them in power and silence Americans. I mean, that's the attack on our First Amendment right as well. Like, that was another agenda of Trump's, is to protect our First Amendment right, which is our freedom of speech.
Yes.
That, and also, side note, kind of eerie, September 27th of this year, Biden revised martial law that they could shoot you for protesting against government policies. Now,
Yeah.
mind you, if somebody has a gun, right? Let's think this all the way through. If somebody has a gun already and they try to bang you to the police, guess what? They can shoot you. So why did they need a martial law to emphasize that?
Well, the key thing being the ability, what you said it was for, like, there, I mean, it says that we're not able to basically protest against our own government. Like, we're not able to say that we disagree with what the government is doing. I thought that was in our freedom to freedom of assembly.
Yes.
Isn't that in there? Freedom of assembly. Yep. I mean,
now it's one thing when people are violent and have guns. Okay,
I agree with you, but
that's 100%
protesting. We should be able to protest whatever we want if it's peaceful.
Right.
Like,
if we don't like what you're saying, like, why can't we tell you we don't like it? It's our country. We pay you. You don't pay us. We're not the employees. We're the owner. We're the boss.
I think that's where we have gotten completely flipped, is that the government has forgotten that they work for us. We don't work for them.
100%.
And right now it's set up that we're working for them, and it's completely asinine. So, I mean, if you ask me, well, don't ask me, because the FBI will be on my doorstep if I air it and say what I want to say right now. So I'm not.
Yeah, some things are, we're going to reserve ourselves because we only have a week left. And
yeah.
I totally am stoked. I believe that Trump is going to win. I believe it'll be too big to rig. But I mean, like everything else, everything's up in the air. A lot of manipulation. I mean,
ballot boxes in Washington.
Yes, I saw that.
I don't know. I know that ultimately it's in God's hands, and
There's nothing we can do about it.
yeah, and I would hope that it is too big to rig, but I think the stake, what the Democratic Party and the elite and like BlackRock and George Soros, what they stand to lose, I think is so great that I still have so much apprehension that they could still do something, And even after the election, I think it is going to be utter chaos in the United States until January 6th. I really do. I think we're going to have so much unrest, civil unrest, turmoil. I think we're going to see a lot of like rioting. I mean, think about the BLM riots and all of that stuff, Antifa, what they did in the past. When he wins, what do you think they're going to do then? Like, I'm a little scared.
I'm not scared because of where I live. Like DeSantis ain't gonna have it. Like,
Well, I mean, I guess where I live, I'm not really going to see it either, unless like I choose to go and like participate in like, big city life where you're going to see liberals because I'm
you're
in
gonna
a really
see
small
liberals, but it
town.
really depends on your state. I really believe it depends on your state. Because I could go to Orlando where it's normally very democratic and let them act out like that.
Yeah,
DeSantis
but I still
will
think well, DeSantis, I think, is he's a whole other issue though. Like he does his own thing. Like that dude
yeah.
is kind of like blazing his own little pathway because he has been very vocal and very outspoken and very no nonsense about any of that stuff. But like, I mean, I'm in South Louisiana. I'm in a really conservative area, but I go to New Orleans all the time. Dude, I should have taken a picture. Because we have a membership to the Audubon Zoo. I've been to New Orleans the last 2 Sundays. There's this house there. And I was just like, but that's the city for you. Like I lived in the city, and yeah, there's a lot of conservatives, but there's a lot of liberals. And there was this house there that was completely decked out, and it had like saving democracy. So it's New Orleans has a ton of like the really cool eclectic shotgun
Yeah.
houses.
Uh-huh.
This house had like save democracy, and it had Kamala walls like things all over it, and I'm like driving by it with my mouth open. I'm like really, like you've got to be. I should have taken a picture of it. Like I was
Well,
just
I mean, they do realize that we are not a democracy, right?
no, they don't. That's the other thing. They
And
don't.
if we were a democracy, that would be more communism than free will.
Yeah, and ultimately, everything that Kamala stands for and what the Democratic Party has turned into is Marxism, is what it is. Like we want to get as far away from religion and God, even though the country was founded on Christian Judeo values. Anybody can argue with me. I will debate you to the end. The facts are there. I will pull out all the proof. That's where we are. But the Democratic Party has become such a demonic, godless entity that they're consumed with money and power, and that's all it really is, and they don't care about anything else at this point. That's how I feel.
And I just want to last statement is I don't we haven't had a show in a few weeks. I was in 2 hurricanes within two and a
Yeah.
half weeks. Last one took out the whole entire yard, the whole fence. So there was so much work. So, we really do apologize. I didn't have internet for 2.5 weeks. Understand, I read 3 books.
Which I'm super proud of because you are not a book reader.
I am not a book
I read,
reader
like, 2 books a
whatsoever.
week.
And I just want to tell you is so that, you don't feel neglected. It wasn't personal. I just had no Wi-Fi. I had a lot of damage control. We had to put up a new fence. So there was just a lot of work in it. And so I do apologize. And then also I found that a few like last week, I think that Kamala was having a conference or a rally, whatever, and somebody says, "What Jesus is Lord," well, you're at the wrong rally.
Yeah.
And then this week she's over here trying to be like quoting scriptures so that
Oh,
she
I
can
know.
win back some Christians that would felt offended, as you should be. Like, what is it that you think? Now, you can believe whatever you want to believe. You're entitled to that, and that's okay. However, why are you going to demean Christians because they believe however they believe? Like, it's disgusting, and it's just goes to show that they love backpedaling to get what they want. Like, they're,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
she alienated her whole Christian support. I don't know how you can be a Christian and support the Democratic Party, honestly, at all. The bigger issue is that, what did Jesus say? But whoever denies me before man, I also will deny
Yeah,
before
him
my
before
Father.
the Father.
So she is not a Christian. She isn't. For anyone who wants to say that she is, there would be no way any Christian would stand there and have that was an automatic response to what those people said. No Christian in their right mind would respond to that. Not in that way. Not in that way. So look, people can argue it with whatever they want, but at the end of the day, we know this is coming down to spiritual warfare. We know other things are happening beyond our control. There are greater things at play here. And Kamala Harris, I would dare say, does not have Christ in any aspect of her life. So she can
And
go quote scripture all she wants. It doesn't, that doesn't mean it. The devil can also quote scripture. So
yeah, when he was tempting Jesus, this is exactly what he did. Now, just putting this out there is just because you put a label on something doesn't mean that you're embodying it.
oh yeah, I
You know
mean
what
we
I
see
mean?
that
Like,
in life. We see it every day in life with people, like and we know. I think any Christian out there can see that. They can see. And it was really good to see there were so many big pastors, like bigger named pastors with bigger platforms that came out and spoke about this, because
you
she's trying to deceive people to get what she wants out of it, and it's basically your vote. But
you know what I love is that I go I live in Florida, but the church that I listen to, it's in Atlanta, and it's called 2819. If y'all haven't heard of it, like, he is an amazing pastor. Like, I get so much from him, and I love him so much because he's not afraid to say the hard parts out loud. And he even points out some of the inconsistencies in which these people are trying to portray you and get you to come over to their side. And I think that it's really important that we have more people that are in the church that honestly are seeking God to give us a perspective, so that way, perhaps, they can make a better sound decision on who they elect into office.
yeah, I
So,
agree.
wow, such a great time to be alive.
It really is. We have 7 days left until the election. If you guys have not checked out Donald Trump's Agenda 47, for any liberals that need to go and get a real dose of what's out there, I mean, go look at it. It's all there. It's not Project 2025. By the way, Project 2025, one of the founding trustees of the Heritage Foundation, actually endorsed Kamala Harris. So there you go, folks. Let's
Ooh.
squash that right there. Okay, Karen. Thank you. Yeah, he talks about ending veteran homelessness in America. Amen to that. No welfare for illegals. Amen to that. Um, you know, auto workers, he was already on the path of putting things back in. We talked about the homeschool, lowering, being energy independent, which again, we were on that path until, they took the election back from us. Death penalties for human traffickers, rebuilding the military, ending the Marxist and radical views in our schools, the tariffs back to overseas. Oh, real quick before we get off, one big thing that's not on the agenda that he has recently talked about, which I absolutely love. He talks about ending income tax and implementing tariffs. Oh,
Absolutely.
my goodness.
If it don't apply, let it fly.
Yes.
I love it. Instead of
it.
having to pay for something that you're never even going to use or it doesn't truly affect you.
Exactly.
Love
so
that.
7 days. If you have not gotten out and voted, if you have the ability to go vote early and in person, please do so. If not, election day is in 7 days. Also, Jen and I are going to be doing an election watch party. So join us 7:30 Eastern time that night. We'll stay on for, I guess, as long as you guys want us to. I'm going to be at a bar at an election party, but I'm still going to get on and we'll.
And I'll be at home, so you know what I mean. Like, Amy might not be able to hear everything or see all the comments and
but
everything,
I will try.
But I will.
Stuff.
I will.
I'm gonna be at a sweet. I'm gonna make another video. I just want. I'm gonna end it with this. There is a sweet man. His name is Mr. Henry. And he's in my little small hometown. And this man has personally purchased 71, it might be more, 71 dozen Trump hats. He has bought them out of his own pocket and he has been handing them out. The whole town, the whole city that I live in should have their own Trump hat at this point. But it's the cutest thing. So I'm going to be at an election watch party with him and obviously at this cute little bar. But yeah, so we'll be on. Join us there. And it should be a really interesting and hopefully very celebratory and fun night.
Yes. And so until then, we hope you have a super awesome day.